Hi, welcome back. Today I want to talk about description. Now, description is giving a clear and detailed image of what it is you are seeing. When I say give an image, I mean give an image in words. Describe the small details, describe color, describe size of what it is you are seeing so that the person you are talking to can almost see it themselves. So behind me, we see a beautiful river, we see trees, right? And we see the sky. The difficult thing with description is where to begin. Sometimes if you have so much to look at, like behind me, a river, trees, the sky, it can be difficult to begin. So what I recommend doing is starting simple. Pick out 3 to 4 things that you can clearly see. So for this example, we can talk about the water, we can talk about the trees, and we can talk about the sky. All right, so let's begin. How do we describe water? Well, we can talk about the size or the quantity, the amount of water. We can talk about the color of water. For this example, it might be hard to say how much water there is. So maybe we could talk about size. We could talk about how long the river is, so from this point all the way up to this point, or how wide, so wide from this point to this point. That is the width. Okay, so behind me is a river, a wide river. We can also talk about the movement of the water. Is the water still? Well, you can see it's rippling a little bit, right? Rippling is how water moves. There aren't really waves, it's just flowing. So flowing or rippling could be a good word to describe this water. So behind me is a flowing river that stretches far into the distance. Now the third thing we can talk about with water is the color. It is pretty difficult to see the color of this water, especially because it's sort of a gray and gloomy day. But we could maybe say it is murky. Murky is when you can't see the bottom of the water. It's not blue, it's not green, it's not clear. It's sort of a brownish gray color. All right, so let's put these descriptive words together. So we have a wide, murky river that flows into the distance. So that's a pretty good description of what we're seeing here. Okay, the next thing we can describe, the trees. So we have trees here and we have trees here, right? So 2 sections of trees. So how do we know how tall these trees are? Well, if we look at the river is pretty wide, right? So that can tell us that the trees, they're probably pretty tall. Okay, so they're tall green trees, and where are they located? Well, they're on this side of the river and on this side of the river, so they are on either side of the river. So let's put our description of trees and our description of the river together. On either side of the wide, flowing, murky river that stretches into the distance stand tall green trees. Okay, so that's okay. We could probably give a little bit more detail about the trees. Maybe how many trees there are. Well, if you look, you really can't count, all right? There's not 1, 2, 3, 4. There are an uncountable amount of trees. So maybe we could say that. All right, so let's put the 2 together. On either side of the wide, murky, flowing river that stretches into the distance stand an uncountable amount of tall green trees. Okay, good. We have both the description of the river and the description of the trees. Pretty clear. All right, and the last thing we can describe in this setting or this image is the sky. Okay, to me the sky looks pretty gray. It is a rainy, gray, dull day. Okay, so we can describe this. And maybe we could use a preposition. A preposition locates items or things in time and space. So where is the sky? The sky is above. And what is below the sky? Well, the river and the trees. Okay, so we can add this into the description. Below the dull, gray, and rainy sky stand an uncountable amount of tall green trees that surround the wide and murky river that flows into the distance. So as you can see, we started with the water, we added the trees, and then we added the description of the sky. And when you put it all together, you have a very clear description on what it is we are seeing. This is a great way to approach describing things, especially if you don't know where to begin. Pick a few things out that you think you can talk clearly about and give good detail to, and then add one thing on top of the next, and eventually you will have a very clear and vivid description. Thanks for your time, and I'll see you soon.